Today we're diving into an important question that a lot of entrepreneurs, freelancers, and business owners have. And the question is, can you have multiple businesses under one LLC? And if so, how many can you actually have? If you're someone running a couple different projects, maybe for you it's a side hustle, an e-commerce store, some consulting work, a YouTube channel, or even some real estate business, you might be wondering if you need to form a separate LLC for each one, or if you can just keep everything under one single LLC. The short answer is yes, you can operate multiple businesses under one LLC, but that doesn't always mean that it's the best decision. There are some major pros and cons to consider, and making the wrong choice could end up costing you a lot of money, exposing your business to unnecessary risk, or just making things more complicated down the road. By the end of this video, you'll understand when it makes sense to have multiple businesses under one LLC, when it doesn't make sense, and what other options you might have to protect yourself both legally and financially. So guys, be sure to stick around to the end of the video because you're not going to want to miss any of that good information that we have for you today. It could help you save a lot of money and headache down the road. So let's first start with why you might want to have multiple businesses under one LLC. The first and most obvious reason here is cost savings. Setting up an LLC is not free, and depending on what state you're in, it could cost you anywhere from $50 to upwards of $200 or $300 just to file your LLC. And then if you're in a state like California, like I am, there's a minimum $800 annual LLC tax that you basically have to pay even if you make $0 in revenue for your LLC. So in addition to these filing fees, you have annual fees, franchise taxes, and ongoing compliance costs, which can really add up if you're running multiple businesses and need to create a separate LLC for each one. By keeping everything under one LLC, you're paying all those fees just once instead of multiple times for each LLC. Now, the second big advantage is less paperwork and administrative work. If you have only one LLC, you don't have to worry about filing separate tax returns, maintaining separate bank accounts, or keeping track of different legal entities. Everything operates under one umbrella, which can make things a lot simpler for you. Another benefit is shared expenses and tax advantages. So let's say you have a YouTube channel, a blog, and an online store all under the same LLC. Instead of keeping separate financial records for each business, you can use the same bank account, the same accounting software, and any other business services across all of them. This makes tracking expenses a lot easier and could even save you some money. And from a tax perspective, if your business is losing money, you might be able to offset those losses against the profits of another business, which could overall lower your tax bill. And that's a huge advantage for entrepreneurs who are juggling multiple ventures. Also, just a quick disclaimer here, guys, this is obviously not financial advice. You really need to seek a professional to see what's exactly right for your specific situation. There are also some serious risks to consider when you have everything under one LLC. And the biggest issue is liability. An LLC is designed to protect your personal assets, but it doesn't necessarily protect your businesses from each other. So for example, in the unfortunate case that one of your businesses in your LLC was sued, then every business under that LLC is at risk. So for example, let's say you run a digital marketing agency and a retail business all under one LLC. If a customer sues the retail business because of a defective product, your entire LLC is liable, which means that your digital marketing business could be on the hook for legal damages too. That's why if you have a couple different high risk businesses, or you have one high risk business and a bunch of lower risk businesses, then it's probably not the best idea to put them under one LLC together. The second big risk is ownership structure problems. So for example, let's say you start one of the businesses under your LLC and then later on you actually bring in a partner to work on that project. If both businesses are under the same LLC, your partner now has legal rights to everything in that LLC, which you might not want to give them, because this might include the businesses that they're not even involved in. And obviously this can lead to legal complications and disputes, and you just want to prevent this altogether. And if you ever plan on selling one of your businesses, having all of your projects under one single LLC can just make this way more complicated than it needs to be. Most buyers will want to purchase a business as a separate legal entity. If your business is tied up with other ventures under the same LLC, you might have to go through extra steps of separating it, which can not only be costly, but also very time consuming. So when is it actually a good idea to put multiple businesses under one LLC? The first case is when you are the sole owner of them and you have no partners and don't intend on bringing any partners in the future. And the second is when your businesses are closely related and low risk. To go back to the example we had earlier, if you're running a YouTube channel, a blog, and let's say an online course business, those are closely related digital media businesses with relatively low liability risk. Keeping them under under the same LLC makes sense because they operate in the same space and they don't have a high likelihood of getting sued. The third situation when it makes sense is when you're just testing out new ideas. If you're launching multiple businesses and you're really not sure which one's going to take off yet, you might not want to go through the hassle of forming a bunch of different LLCs right away. You can start them all under one LLC, and then when one of them starts to make significant money, or right before that, then you can separate it into its own LLC. Now, just note there's no legal limit to how many businesses can be under one single LLC, but like we said, just because you have 10 or 20 businesses under one LLC doesn't necessarily make that a smart move. The more businesses you lump together, the higher the risk. If one of them has legal trouble, it could affect all of them. A better approach for many business owners is to use a holding company structure. A holding company is an LLC or corporation that owns multiple other LLCs underneath it. So instead of putting your businesses under one LLC, you can create a parent company that owns separate LLCs for each business. For example, if you run a real estate business, an e-commerce business, and a marketing agency, which are all in different fields and aren't super related, instead of putting them under one LLC, you can create a holding company LLC that owns 3 separate LLCs, one for each of those businesses. This gives you better liability protection while still keeping things somewhat streamlined. So what's going to be the best approach for you? If your businesses are closely related, low risk, and solely owned by you now and in the future, putting them under one LLC can save you money and make the management of those businesses easier. But if your businesses have multiple partners, high liability risks, or you plan to sell them one day, then having separate LLCs is going to be the move for you. And if you're serious about growing multiple businesses, it's really worth consulting a tax professional or an attorney to figure out the best legal and tax advice for your specific situation. And for those of you that have not created an LLC or would like to create an LLC in the near future here, we highly recommend going with a company like Northwest Registered Agent. We'll be sure to leave their link down below to our exclusive discount code that's going to get you an LLC started today for just $39. They'll also give you a free year of a registered agent service, which normally costs anywhere between $99 to $300 or $400 per year. So it's really a great deal. Instead of going through all the steps yourself, you can have an LLC set up in just a few minutes. And we really love Northwest Registered Agent for how streamlined the process is. We recommend them to all our friends. And like I said, we'll leave that link down below in the description. So be sure to use our special link for that $39 LLC formation package. And just note that if you do use our link, we do get a small referral fee at no additional cost to you. This really just helps us keep creating free content like this for you. So thank you so much in advance. With that said, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please leave us a like, comment down below, hit that notification bell, and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. And lastly, this channel is dedicated to new and existing business owners to share everything related to LLCs. We review the best platforms and tools out there that are going to help you set up, manage, and optimize your LLC. So guys, thank you so much for watching. We wish you the best, and we will see you back again in the next video.